Hey everyone, Cooper here, host of the fine podcast you're listening to. I just want to let you know that the episode you clicked on has a format that is very heavily inspired by a podcast called The Booking It. To be clear, our thoughts and opinions in this episode are our own, but the format is very similar to this podcast. I just wanted to give you a heads up and give credit where it is due. With that out of the way, enjoy the show. Coming up next, Booking It reads A Christmas Carol. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bookin It. I'm of course Trumbull and elegant host Cooper Cobbs, and I totally, the entire week when I was thinking about this episode, was going to do a ho 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 in the opener, and I did not. So here it is. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. And now, joining me today in this fine Christmas episode, we have over there Mr. Isaiah Ransky.
Hello.
And of course, Mr. Tanner Lewis.
Howdy.
So here we are on a Christmas morning in your ears, because as we've stated in the past, you do listen to these on Christmas instead of spending time with your family. You know, it's great. True facts, though. The Gift of the Magi, which is one of the only other Christmas episodes that we've done, is one of our least popular episodes, apparently.
Wow.
Just according to download numbers. Yeah, I know. So maybe people actually don't listen to us on Christmas, but
I mean, I would see why not, though, because it's Christmas, you know.
Yeah, I know. But surely there's a point where, like, you have to, like, take a break from your cousins or your aunt. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about A Christmas Carol. And guys, would you agree with this statement? Is A Christmas Carol, like, the most famous Christmas, like, story template? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I don't know.
Yes.
What about Elf, though? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Elf came out in, like, the 90s.
I said I was kidding.
Classic.
Yeah, I would say it probably is. I mean,
yeah.
Besides, like,
Gift of the Magi might be up there, too. Oh, yeah, true. You're right. You're right. The wise. Yes, fair. Isaiah, wow. Way to go. Way to go. Well, here we are talking about A Christmas Carol. By the way, did you guys think that this was, were there any significant differences between the actual story of, I guess, the novella and all the adaptations that you've seen of the book? Like, were there any, like, major differences, like, you didn't expect that, or they just, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know how many adaptations you've even seen.
I don't know if I can come up with any on the spot right now, because it's been a while since I saw any.
Yeah.
I just read it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I guess I've only
seen.
I haven't seen very many of these. I have seen, obviously, I think we've all seen, we'll talk about it in Baggage as well. We've seen the Disney Christmas special one, right? Which has,
yes.
Doesn't it have Goofy as Jacob Marley? Is that
I think
yes,
I've seen
they
that.
did.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then I guess, gosh, I think I've seen the VeggieTales version. I think VeggieTales did one of these. I don't know why that came to mind. And then I've seen the Jim Carrey, like, Polar Express version where it's all terribly motion capture animated as well. So I haven't seen any of, like, the good ones, like the Muppets one. I haven't seen that one. So
I haven't seen the Muppets one either.
yeah.
I have no clue which ones I've seen. I haven't seen any in a while.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's for facts. I think Isaiah, Tanner, had you read this before during the podcast, by the way, for this podcast?
I have.
Okay. Remember Isaiah?
I read it.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I read it last year.
Yeah,
okay.
But
I read it like
it's still fresh enough
2
on my
years ago.
memory off of Spark Notes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Internet.
Isaiah did or you were talking about A Tale of Two Cities last year, and Isaiah had mentioned that you read this, and I was really impressed, by the way, Isaiah, that you had read this, honestly.
Oh,
so, congrats.
Thanks. Why?
Yeah.
It's not a very Isaiah thing to do.
It's not.
It's a
and so I was very
Christmas
proud
book
of him.
that's a well-known story. I mean,
yeah, true. It's very short. Like, it is very short.
I mean, sort of.
Like, it took me an hour and a half to listen to it on Audible, I think.
What?
So, yeah. I mean, that's at like 1.7 speed.
Because mine was kind of, I mean, it's not like huge.
It's
but
not
it
short.
wasn't
It's not
like
short.
small.
Yeah, it's a novella. It's, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, oh yeah, I guess I'll go. You guys don't have an answer. I was doing some research for this podcast, or listening to reviews or reading reviews, something like that, as I sometimes do. And one person pointed out that it seems like in the book, Scrooge's repentance starts very early on. Like at the end of the first Ghost, he probably would have at least done something to turn his life around, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then in the movies, it's always like at the end, at the very end, only when the Ghost of Christmas present Ghost of Christmas future comes, right?
That's true.
And then he's scared he's gonna die, and then changes. And as this person pointed out, it's kind of cheap to say in the movies, well, Scrooge changed because he was afraid he was gonna die, and that kind of thing. But oh wait, Tanner, you've seen a Christmas Carol adaptation recently?
I have. I watched Spirited.
Yeah, that's right.
Which wasn't. Oh my gosh. Guys, I strongly discourage you from ever watching that movie. Ever.
That's funny. I was listening to someone talk about that movie as well, and they were saying, obviously it wasn't a great movie, but they thought it was a fun idea, because isn't the idea, Scrooge has joined the ghost team, right? The Ghost of Christmas, I guess, past and future.
And the entire thing's a music,
right.
The entire afterlife is a musical.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
It sounds terrible. But I thought that was funny. He's joining the crew, and he's trying to get people to repent. And he wants to target this one person to repent because he was the last unredeemable person they targeted, right? Or something like that. Anyway. It sounded it was a fun idea. I'm sure that the musical stuff and everything else.
I mean, it was not clean, but it was relatively funny because, I mean, when you throw in
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell into it, it's just something's bound to happen.
Yeah. That's fun. Okay, well, I guess, guys, we gotta get started talking about this. We haven't started talking about it yet, so we have. Isaiah, you want to give your baggage for us of A Christmas Carol?
Sure. So, baggage. When did I first hear about this?
I feel like for all of us, it's just kind of one of those things that it's just been around.
Yeah, I feel like I've just always heard about it.
Story was.
I never really knew what it was though until I was I don't know, 10 or 11 probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first time I actually watched or read anything about it was at Silver Dollar City. They had a play on the Christmas Carol. So yeah, I think I was 11 whenever I saw that. I don't know. And then for reading the book though, I read it 2 years ago. Well, okay, no, hold on. 3 years ago, I tried to read it.
Okay.
I didn't finish it. Okay. I tried to reread. I reread it basically 2 years ago. I did finish it. Thought it was a good book. Yeah, and that's about it for the book. And then I read it again about a month ago.
Cool. Cool.
Something like
Any I guess adaptations that you're fond of that you've seen a lot? I guess the Mickey one, but that's already been established.
Yeah, nothing really. I mean, I don't really ever watch much stuff on the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Chan, you want to give yours?
Okay, I've grown up on the Mickey one, obviously. I mean, what good American child
I feel
hasn't?
Actually, next year, we just need to do an episode where we talk about that.
See, the thing is, I've probably seen the Mickey one. I just never realized what it was.
Yeah. Or we just do one of those things where we say watch along with us, and we watch it and record while watching it. That'd be really fun, actually.
We should do that.
Yeah, next year, guys.
We should video our reactions because it would probably be hilarious.
Would it?
Well.
I mean, it could be.
Oh, man. I mean, if you want to edit the, however 40-minute long video, Tanner, you can.
Yeah.
And your computer can crash 5 times.
Anyway. Moving on.
Anyways, definitely had grown up on some adaptations. I think I've seen 4 or 5.
Okay.
But
you have a favorite one? Sorry, I'm just jumping in.
The Mickey one.
Okay.
All the others are crap.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hey, it's true that none of the other ones are good. They all deviate too far.
Okay.
And it's just none of the other ones that I watched were actually
that's
good.
About a talking mouse. Is the closest
to it? The one that deviates the less. And it's their
hey, the one the Mickey Mouse ones are stick pretty Disney's stick pretty close.
Yeah, they do.
they stick pretty close, and they have some really good dialogue. They like dumb it down pretty easily.
Yeah.
I'd say that it's pretty good. It's like watching Shakespeare, except in like
Okay.
it's like
Whoa.
watching
Okay.
No
Next
Fear.
year is gonna be fun. Like
Shakespeare?
it's like talking about Tanner's like the Disney Christmas special is basically Shakespeare. Like
What?
No. I'm saying it's like reading No Fear Shakespeare.
yeah, which is cheating. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what I'm
kidding.
saying.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Anyways,
Moving on. Let's go back.
I read the book last Christmas on a whim, and I thought it was good. And of course, I was not surprised at anything that had happened because I had watched all the adaptations
right.
multiple times.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, those are my thoughts.
Fun. My bag is very similar as well. I mean, I've just kind of grown up. Like the Christmas Carol is just a thing, right? It's just a thing. And then the Disney adaptation, obviously, was a huge part. I mean, I can still picture Goofy coming up in chains. I don't think I've seen that thing in a couple years now. So, Goofy, like a blue Goofy just walking. Anyway, I always felt bad for what's the guy's? Is it who? It's like Donald Duck's uncle, right? Or the older duck. What's his name called again? I have no idea. Like just normally.
Scrooge.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. He's rich though.
Yeah, he's always
His
like the
name is
rich old guy,
Scrooge.
but then he plays Scrooge. Yes,
No,
but like
his name is Scrooge.
What seriously? Like in the Mickey.
It was actually
Hang on.
Fairly certain. His
Just
name is
outside
Scrooge.
the
Uncle
Mickey
Scrooge. It was Uncle Scrooge. I know
Are
it.
you kidding me? Hang on.
It was
Oh,
Uncle
I'm
Scrooge.
looking this up right now.
Mouse character list.
Yeah. Uncle to Donald Duck, Scrooge is the world's richest duck.
Oh no. It's Ludwig von Drake. Is that what it is?
What? No. It's
No,
Scrooge
that's the
McDuck.
doctor for the. Yeah,
Oh,
Scrooge McDuck.
McDuck. You're right. Yep. You're right. Wow. Okay. Good pull, Isaiah. Anyway,
I know Donald
I felt
Duck
bad for him. He always plays those kind of roles. But anyway. Yeah, so that was, heavy. And then I have not, for it being such like a, big part of Christmas storytelling, I have not read it all the way through, I don't think, until last week when I read it. I really don't. And obviously, it's pretty good. So that's my baggage, y'all. I guess any more opening thoughts? We've kind of been talking about it a little bit, but
Dickens is just a master of words.
okay.
Like, that's all I have to say. Like he lays everything down so well and so sometimes a little bit too eloquently,
Yeah.
but just like he leaves no word unsaid.
Which can be bad when you're writing, 500-page books. But when you're writing a, like 75, 100-page book like this, then...
Yep.
Anyways, very short, sweet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Isaiah, what about you?
I mean, I already kind of said my thoughts. It's a good book. I like it. I would recommend reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also watching, like the Mickey one and all that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with you guys. I think you can tell like where Dickens has his faults in Christmas Carol. Like they're not very prominent. Like obviously the moment that everybody likes to hate on and is the Tiny Tim moment at the very end where he says "God bless us, everyone"
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, and it just gets like overly sentimental or whatever. And Dickens is sometimes known for just creating these characters like that are just basically perfect and flawless, right? It's like that character in Jane Eyre, right? What was her name? Helen, right? And Jane Eyre, where it's just like she can do nothing wrong, and it's like this angelic being for some reason. And so you can tell like that comes through a little bit in Tiny Tim. But other than that, Tanner's right. Like he says a lot, but what he says is funny. Like the narrator's a pretty funny dude. The way he opens up the book, like with Jacob Marley was dead, and then goes on this little rant about doornails and something like that.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. Anyway, it's pretty funny, and he does a good job at writing it and stuff. So I was pretty pleased with how it was written. Yeah, I think the other Dickens book that we've done, A Tale of Two Cities, is also like this. Dickens still writes probably too much, and that book's way denser than A Christmas Carol is. But it's still pretty good and doesn't have a lot of the flaws that sometimes Dickens does have. By the way, A Tale of Two Cities is actually one of the only recent episodes where I've gone back and listened to it. And I just want to say, I feel like the Tale of Two Cities deserve better than what we gave it. So maybe this is our recompense. Isaiah wasn't a huge fan, huh? I mean, at least you can say it's the second best-selling book of all time, their fiction book of all time. It's one of the great classics of the English language. I feel like we could have given it, better than we did, but that's okay.
See, but like if you're going by that reasoning, then you're saying that we should do a screening thing on Avatar and make it the best because it's the number one grossing
fair.
movie.
Fair.
So,
good point, Isaiah. Good point.
I know.
The thing is, Avatar is like not good, and A Tale of Two Cities is. Name 3 characters from Avatar.
I haven't
are you
seen
defending
Avatar.
Or are you accusing?
I haven't
okay.
seen it.
Okay. Sorry, I just jumped to my natural.
Okay, why are we talking about Avatar? I was just trying to make a point, guys. We don't have to actually talk about it.
I don't know. I know, you're right. You made a good point, and I just jumped into my natural Avatar attack phase for some reason. So. Which is, name 3 characters because people can. Anyway.
Oh, it's so bad. I don't see how the second one's grossing so much as it is right now.
Yeah, true. It didn't actually. Yeah, we'll talk about that on another podcast, maybe. Okay.
Anyways,
I guess anything else to say about Scrooge? How do you feel about Scrooge? Was he a well-written character? Was he kind of the same or different from adaptations that you've seen? How was your reaction to Scrooge when reading it?
I feel. Oh, go ahead, Tanner.
Okay, I'll just say my thoughts real fast because I'm gonna have to hop off here and go to work in a second. But as far as Scrooge the character goes in the book, he's so iconic now that it's hard to mess him up.
Yeah.
Right? We call people Scrooges all the time, and so I just think that.
I mean, society does.
Society.
I was about to say, I've never heard anyone say that.
Well, you only need to hop on Facebook comments to see a bunch of stuff
Tanner
like that.
Tanner does live on Facebook. It's true.
I do not live on Facebook.
Oh, that's true. You're right. He does.
I live on Spotify. This is true. But it's just he was such a well-written character and so very well-rounded. Mm-hmm. But like you said with Tiny Tim, we've got the two, and he's the antithesis of Tiny Tim, right? Yeah. We've got the pure angelic being over here, and then we've got the person who literally should have died the moment he was born.
Geez.
Right? Oh, wow.
Okay.
That maybe not
dark.
that much. Maybe not that much.
Maybe not that much, but he was
that got
pretty terrible
dark,
dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Die the moment he
not
was
darker
born?
than Endgame. I mean,
what? Die the moment he was born?
Not darker than Endgame, guys.
That
not darker
raises
than
very
Endgame.
serious philosophical questions. Does anybody deserve to die at birth? And
Bro.
then there's the Minority Report question of would he have changed?
Hold on. What did he mean by Endgame? I don't think Endgame was dark.
There was the one scene in Endgame where they're talking.
Fair, but you're comparing Scrooge, a miser, to someone who wiped out half of life,
half
of the universe,
of everything.
Yeah,
everyone.
Anyways,
and that was one comment that everyone shut down instantly in the movie.
Yeah. Thanks, Tanner. Yeah, he didn't defend himself later, like you are.
I'm not defending myself anymore.
Okay, good. Isaiah, what did you think about Scrooge? Did you find in Scrooge a kindred spirit, or no? I'm kidding.
No.
No.
I thought he was written well. Good character. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess up Scrooge, in the adaptations.
The original Scrooge is hard to in the adaptations.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I meant. Most of them are fairly similar, or if not basically the same type of Scrooge, personality and all that. Because it's just this grumpy old dude who hates Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the point about Scrooge, the kind of coming to, basically in the middle of the first, when the first spirit is leading him around.
Yeah,
I thought that actually it was really well done in the book compared to adaptations. It was better done because he just kind of lets things slip. He says something under his breath, and the ghost is like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. I just wanted to maybe do this or do that, right?" And so I really liked his transformation starting earlier instead of later, and it makes his transformation more compelling, I guess.
Yeah,
because he actually is having fun. He's enjoying himself, and he's seeing what Christmas spirit is all about. And then, obviously the last ghost is instrumental. He's like a hard, here's what it is. Here's what it's going to be if you don't change. And then he comes fully about.
Yeah.
And then after it's all fun. So I think that the opening, go ahead.
I just have one thing about the very last segment in the book, with the Ghost of Christmas Future. A future, I don't even know. Future Christmas future.
Yeah.
The future ghost dead dude.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, him. In the spirit, this is probably the only thing that I thought was actually funny about the Spirited movie.
Okay.
In the Spirited movie, Ryan Reynolds is being shown his grave, and he's like, "Oh, so what? You want me to fall on my knees and pray to God that it'll save my soul?" No. And the ghost picks him up and throws him down in the grave, and says some not very.
Oh.
He says, "You've been Christmas caroled." Not so nice word.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the only funny part of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, it was that bad.
Huh. Wow.
Anyways, continue.
Well, I think that actually, the Christmas Carol, going off what you said about the Ghost of Christmas Future, that it's actually pretty scary, and the descriptions are pretty vivid. Like a description of Marley's chains, like thudding and clanking up the stairs. I mean, and then when you first see, you basically picture the Grim Reaper when you see the Ghost of Christmas Future. Yeah. I mean, it's literally
Are they the same person? Where did legitimate question. Where did the Grim Reaper come from?
I think just mythologies and voodoo religions, I guess. Or, some...
I'm going to research this now and figure out if it came from the Christmas...
There's no way. It's got to be older than that.
It might not.
Because, think about, this guy is obviously playing on... Dickens is playing on the imagery of, a Grim Reaper kind of thing.
Unless it's the other way around.
Do you think that Grim Reaper was created, just 160, 70 years ago?
Maybe. That's what I'm contending.
But, why would it be the Ghost of Christmas Future? What's the connection between that and, the person who, carries the dead away?
A lot.
Huh.
I mean, he showed them his grave. That's his job.
Yeah. I mean, true. I guess. You're right. But that makes more sense the other way around, though. The connection is stronger from the Grim Reaper to him than it is the other way around.
You may be right. That's a deeper dig for a later time.
Okay. But I like the descriptions of...
Just a thought question for any of the listeners that want to dive into that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time.
It's I like how Dickens describes him. You can't see his face. You can't see... He doesn't talk. You can see his. He talks about his hand wavering or his hood, lowering or things like that. You can tell body language without, films oftentimes are better at this, right? Because they have to be when it comes to just subtle things like that, right? But then the book also does a really good job of making it cinematic, honestly, as in you can picture the hand wavering or this and that, and it's very well done as well. So. I like it a lot. I like the Ghost of Christmas Future quite a bit because he's well done. Well done, sir. Well done. Yeah, Dickens is great. Yeah.
I have to go, folks.
All right.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Farewell, Tanner.
Bye,
Merry
Tanner.
Christmas to you, sir. And to your many siblings. Well, Isaiah, it's just you and me now. Anything else you want to talk about? I may have to get out of here a little earlier.
Well, I just researched the Grim Reaper thing if you want me to answer that.
Oh, you did? And?
So... There were two answers, and one of them you can't really know for sure, but one of them says people believe that it started in the 10th century.
Okay.
Or before that. Just as some myth of saying they were just placing a name to death or a figure.
Gotcha.
That they could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But the most common thought one or whatever is that it started in, when was it? The 14th century, during the Black Plague.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why it's a skeletal figure with a cloak and a scythe, the scythe is to symbolize plucking or harvesting
grain.
Or whatever with it, and it's plucking souls from the earth or harvesting them.
Oh, okay.
Skeletal figure.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead. And the robe is what supposed to be what religious people wore then. So yeah, that I guess the most common most people believe it's in the 14th century. Can't really know for sure, but
cool. Yeah. Well, that makes sense with the plague and everything. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, there's
There
this
you
like,
go.
cool Ray Bradbury short story about basically this family rolls up to this farmhouse and they're on like a journey. And it's like during the 40s or 50s or something like that. I think time is like a set then. And then they get out into the farmhouse to see if they can get something to eat or drink or use the bathroom or whatever. And there's a guy, he's just dead inside. And there's a scythe next to his bedside table. And he's holding a little letter that says, "This farmhouse is yours, just tend the grain field, okay?" And so the field is really weird because only certain parts of it are ripe every now and then you're supposed to go out and just cut them, right? And then after a while, the farmer who's doing the work realizes, you know what? I am literally, like, cutting souls. Like, I am the Grim Reaper right now. Like, cutting people's souls when their time is ready. Like, basically, their time is ready, I'm harvesting them. And then he finds his wife and daughter's souls, basically, or their respective stalks. He could feel them. And then he doesn't cut them down, but they die anyway. And then he just starts hacking at everything. Even if it's ripe or not, and so he's trying to like explain what happened in the 20th century with, World War II, World War One, communism and everything. Anyway, it's a cool story, but a total Grim Reaper, scythe, cornfield, grain field tangent. So, well, I guess we can talk about like Tiny Tim. How did you feel about the last stave, or the last part of the book about Scrooge's redemption, and then his just basically being joyous, and
it made me feel all warm and
everybody
fuzzy inside. No,
warm and fuzzy inside.
kidding.
Warm
I
and
don't
fuzzy.
know. I thought it was a good ending, good happy ending. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if he still stayed grumpy and mad and all that, and then
I would have been.
And Tim couldn't walk and all that. But
yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
Exactly.
It's kind of what I was expecting the first time I saw Reddit, considering it was like a major part of the stuff before.
And you know what? You knew how. Even if you didn't know the story, you know how a story works. Like you know how this guy's being set up for redemption here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you feel like Dickens over sentimentalizes anything? That's the word. Does he go too far? Is it too warm and fuzzy? Is it too kind of thing?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. It might have been a bit too much, but I can't really remember right now.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to be warm and fuzzy inside, so there's that. I do think Tiny Tim goes a little too far, though. But that's okay. That's just, it's Dickens, so you got to kind of put up with that, I guess. So, any other final thoughts on A Christmas Carol, Isaiah? Should people read it?
Yeah, good book. I would recommend reading it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many Christmas spirits out of 3 do you give to A Christmas Carol?
Out of 3?
You can use decimals. Yeah, you can use decimals.
2.54.
2.54. Excellent. 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Did you even think about that? Wow.
No, I just said
it
random
just came off your head. You tried to come up with random numbers, and your brain was like, nope.
Dang it, man.
Nope. Yeah. I'm going to go with, I'll go 2.63. I'll go right there with you. That's good. It's good. Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll do some donor shout-outs because these people are our favorite Christmas present because they support us over at patreon.com/bookin it. And they give us $5 or more a month, and we shout them out on the show.
Yeah.
So Isaiah, I'm going to say the patron, and then you say what Christmas present you would get them, okay?
Okay.
Just say anything. Like, there's like billions of things in the world. First, Nana.
I don't know, a sewing kit? I don't know.
Okay. Van Pappy and Wayla.
What? You broke up again.
Van Pappy and Wayla.
Bikes.
Isaiah's grandparents. Mike and Sylvia, your grandparents.
New Bible.
Mr. Mike and Miss Laura, your parents.
Brisket. Like meat, so my dad can cook it.
And Jenny and Uncle Sam.
An iPhone.
Christmas Carol? An iPhone. Okay. Moses. A staff, right?
No, I was gonna go with an iPad.
That was a bad joke. An iPad. Cool. Zara.
Laptop.
Anna.
AirPods.
Emily.
Emily.
Is
Yeah. What
Apple
else is
catalog?
there? AirPod Pros.
Apple Watch. Oh, iPod Pro. Becky.
An Apple Watch.
Lizzie.
What other technology things are there? Oh, a TV. Yeah.
Keenan.
Xbox.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. I really do. Make sure to spend time with your family and friends and feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Mm-hmm.
And also remember the reason for the season. Hashtag Jesus birth, I guess. I don't know if that's a real hashtag or not. I'm sure it is. I'm that on Twitter. Okay. We'll see you guys in the new year with a new schedule. I think next week you can expect an episode that yours truly, and maybe if anybody else is able to join, about the book list for next year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
right,
it's going to be fun.
It's gonna be a lot
I totally
of fun.
know what it is.
It's going to be fun. You do. You know what it is.
I
Come
forgot
on.
already, okay?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I know what it is. Make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review if you haven't already. Tell your friends about the podcast. We'll see you in 2023. Until then.
Keep on booking it.